This is a look at the June 2023 paper 1 for human and social biology. And we begin the 60 questions by answering number 1, the ability of a living organism to detect and respond to changes in its environment is referred to as C, irritability. Item 2 refers to the following diagrams, which show a red blood cell before and after being placed in a concentrated salt solution for 1 hour. The changes in the red blood cell shown in 2 occurs because water has left the cell. It shrunk, so it means water is leaving via osmosis. So that means the answer is B. Item 3 refers to the following freshwater food chain. The label organism, that's this label here, it's Roman numeral 1, is what you have to identify the level this is at. This is the herbivore, it's the second trophic level. The tertiary or the third trophic level is a secondary consumer. Which of the following factors is not necessary for photosynthesis to take place? And that not is in capital letters, just to make sure we don't miss it. And it is oxygen. Question 4 is oxygen. Item 5 refers to the following diagram, which represents an animal cell, and it's pointing here. It has the ribosomes on the endoplasmic reticulum. So this is the rough endoplasmic reticulum, which is responsible for the production of proteins. B is the answer. Question 6, which of the following statements is not true of anemia? That not in capital letters, don't miss that. Read through all your answers carefully. And A, it is caused by the presence of an extra chromosome. That is not true for anemia, so that makes A the answer. Which of the following are properties of enzymes? They mostly work on only one substrate. They are not affected by temperature. They work best at a particular pH. So they are not affected by temperature. They work best at a particular pH. That is true. So for 7, we are going with 1 and 3, which is B. Question 8, the process by which undigested food is eliminated from the body is called digestion. So question 8 is A. And if we are question 8, it means we are wrong nutrition. So you should never select excretion. The position of the questions will tell you the topic they are tested. Item 9 refers to the following diagram, which shows the internal structure of the tooth. The layer of the tooth, which is harder than bone, is the outermost layer above the gum line, which is 1. So 9 is A. 10. Which of the following types of teeth is best adapted for tearing top pieces of food? This is not my favorite question. The answer is C, canines. Which of the following is not a function of calcium? For question 11, is it absorption, blood clotting, development of healthy teeth, development of healthy bones? And not a function, we are going with it is responsible for blood clotting, it is responsible for teeth, it is responsible for bones. So the absorption, A, is the answer. Question 12, in the digestion, the role of teeth is to do what? It's to grind food, to mash up food, to break down food. It's physical or mechanical digestion, right? That's what it's doing. So grind food to increase its surface area. B. For 12, item 13 refers to the following diagram of part of the human digestive system, which sequence correctly matches each numbered structure to its function. 1 is the liver, 2 is the stomach, 3 is the small intestines. So for 13, we are looking for what matches that, and that is C. Gastric juices for the stomach, produces bile, the liver does that, and absorbs soluble end products, the small intestines. Question 14, which of the following foods would best prevent constipation? You looking for water or fiber roughage? So you just pick the one that suggests that: fruit and vegetable salad. C is the answer for 14. Question 15. Climbing up a mountain, a group of hikers find that breathing becomes difficult. This is most likely because the air has less oxygen. It is a mountain, right? A mountain is really high up. The air becomes thinner the higher up the mountain you go. Question 16, not the best visibility, but the mere fact that we see this lilac to purple color observed here, it already tells us that this is a protein test or burette test. So step 3 indicates the presence of protein. It's positive for protein. And this is copper dilute copper sulfate. So that indicates us, if we know the food test with the sodium hydroxide as well, that already tells us it's a protein test. Question 17, which of the following structures is not part of the respiratory system? Esophagus, that is for the digestive system. 17 is A. Item 18 refers to the following diagram of a model used to demonstrate breathing in humans. Which of the labeled parts represents the diaphragm? If this demonstrates breathing in humans, the diaphragm is to the base, it closes off the cavity. So D for 18. 19, the equation for aerobic respiration is we need to have oxygen present for aerobic respiration and produces carbon dioxide. So for 19, we are going with A. See the oxygen there, carbon dioxide. Energy is a product of respiration. All of them have energy, in fact, so that's great. But just take your time and go through each equation and you will see that A is the answer. Question 20, which of the following is the correct sequence of events in mouth-to-mouth resuscitation? 1, pinch the nostrils. 2, place your mouth over the other person's and blow gently. 3, remove your mouth. That should be the last step. And 4, tilt the head backwards. So just put them in order and you should be coming up with C. Tilt the head backwards, pinch their nostrils, pinch their nose, do a gentle blow, and then remove your mouth. Question 21, coronary thrombosis occurs when a coronary artery becomes blocked with a blood clot. Item 22 refers to the following diagram of a type of cell. The mere fact that we are seeing a lobed nucleus means we are already looking at a white blood cell and it's a phagocyte. So 22 is B. On to 23, which of the following is not transported in plasma? Urea from the kidneys out of the body, that should go through the urinary system, right? So not the circulatory system. The double pumping of the heart allows blood rich in something. Right? Take your time with this question. The first pump is the pulmonary system. The second pump is to the body. So we are taking our time, and oxygen is to be taken to the body during the second pump. That's the second pump. Oxygen doesn't need to be taken to the lungs, no. Carbon dioxide to be taken to the body through the... Why are you sending carbon dioxide to the body? I have no idea. and carbon dioxide is taken to the lungs during the second pump. No, this happens in the first pump. So B is the answer. The longest continuous bone in the human skeleton is the one in your thigh, and that is your femur for 25, which means we are on to the skeletal system. Which group best represents the location with ball and socket, hinge and fixed joints? Just take your time. We have a ball and socket. We know that is either your shoulder or your hip, and the only one with shoulder here is C. So already 26, we have gotten the answer as C. 27, which of the following is a tough, flexible, fibrous connective tissue that allows two bones to form a stable joint? So for 26, we are going with a ligament. Bones act as levers, while cartilage assists with, what does cartilage do? It reduces the friction and the impact. Bones. Liam notices that his face is flushed red after playing football. Which of the following processes causes his face to be flushed? That is vasodilation, meaning the blood is closer to the surface of the skin. C is your answer. Moving on to question 30, refers to the following diagram of a section through the human skin. Which label part represents the sweat pore? Remember, the sweat pore will have no hair follicle, no hair strand, no hair shaft coming out of it. So it's 2, which makes the answer of question 30 B. Which of the following substances are found in the urine of a healthy person? Urea, salts, water. Yeah. A. Salts are not higher. It's low. It's very low, but it's still present. Especially considering the answers they give, that is absolutely the best answer. Item 32 refers to the following diagram showing some of the organs in the body which produce hormones. We have a label in S. Which hormone is secreted by the organ labeled S? If you look at the position, it's closer to the left-hand side of the body. So this means this is the pancreas, which indicates that the hormones from the list that is being secreted is D, insulin. Question 33 refers to the following diagram showing a longitudinal section through a human kidney. Which of the labeled structures contains the loop of Henle? If we follow the path of a nephron, it starts in the cortex and goes into the medulla. The loop of Henle gives the curve or the turn to come back out into the cortex. So we know the medulla is the position. So 33, we are selecting D. Question 34. Which of the following actions occur to bring about accommodation in the eye? Accommodation is the change in vision to see nearby objects or faraway objects. So just read the answers carefully for 34. And tightening of the suspensory ligaments through relaxation of the ciliary muscles. And remember, it's antagonistic. So one must, when one pushes, one pulls. Right? So there are two things. If we go through the other answers, loosening of the suspended ligaments through relaxation. No, loosening and relaxation the same. It's not a push-pull, so that can be right. Tightening of the suspended ligaments with no change. There must be a change. It's antagonistic. So that's wrong. Loosening of the suspended ligaments with no, again, that is wrong. So we are sticking with 34A. 35 refers to the following diagram of a motor neuron. Which labeled part is the axon? And the only one that comes on to the axon is 3. Roman numeral 3 is C. So 35, our answer is C. 36. Which of the following statements about astigmatism is correct. And after reading the answers, it will be D. The cornea is uneven, bending the light so it does not converge on the retina. Images in the eye are formed on the, well, considering it just came from doing 36, we know that images are formed on the retina. Item 38, the main reason for practicing family planning is to ensure sufficient resources for each family member. 38 is D. As we move on to 39 from the topic reproduction, refers to the following diagram, which represents 1 month on the calendar Tanya uses to chart her menstrual cycle. During which part of her cycle is she most likely to become pregnant? It will be the part where ovulation happens, and we know this part because estrogen has peaked as well. So 2, which is B. Question 40, which of the following is true about the fallopian tube? Facilitates the passage of the ovum to the uterus. Yes. Site where fertilization of the ovum occurs. Yes. Produces the ovum. No. So 1 and 2, which makes 40A. Question 41, implantation occurs when the fertilized ovum is embedded into the uterus wall. D. 41 is D. 42, during asexual reproduction, an organism produces new organisms that are identical to the parent by the process of, the mere fact that they have the word identical is the giveaway for this question. That means it's mitosis. They produce identical daughter cells. Chromosomes are made up of protein and DNA. So 43, the answer is A. 44, which of the following occurs when a zygote receives 1 extra chromosome? That is a mutation, a chromosomal mutation, in fact. The answer for 44 is D. 45 refers to the following illustration of genetic engineering that is used to produce a protein. What is a possible disadvantage of producing useful proteins in this way? Produce large amounts of protein is inexpensive. Large amounts of proteins can be made. We're looking for disadvantage. Production of protein is very rapid as bacteria multiply. Use of bacteria in this process can be hazardous to health. So 45, we are going with D. That's the only one that presents a disadvantage. On to question 46. Infected persons displaying signs and symptoms of diseases. Which of the following signs and symptoms are correctly classified? Remember, sign or symptom is something that could be observed or measured. A symptom, only that person is experiencing it. So 46, after reading it, you could see shivering if you look at the person, but you can't look at a person and tell they have a sore throat. Yeah, they need to tell you. So C. All right, a headache is a symptom of, you can't know someone is having a headache unless they tell you. Yeah. Which of the following types of immunity occurs when a baby receives antibodies from its mother before birth? So a baby's mother is its natural way, and the baby is not doing anything. The baby is just receiving. So that is a natural and passive, which makes 47B. 48, good health may be best defined as, remember there needs to be 3 things to the definition of good health: social, mental, and physical. Which one is telling us that? We're going with C. It has the social, it has the mental, it has the physical. 49, not the best clarity. Which of the following organisms is the causative agent for cholera? And you know cholera is caused by Vibrio cholera, and it is a bacterium. Item 50 refers to the following diagram showing the life cycle of a house fly. Which stage is prevented by keeping household refuge properly covered? You block the stage where adults are able to lay eggs. So that means we look at B right here. So 50 is B. Which of the following cannot be prevented by healthy lifestyle choices? Just read the answer and see which one jumps out to you. Sickle cell anemia, chronic heart disease, iron deficiency anemia, influenza. So the answer is sickle cell anemia, which you know is a genetic disease. Which of the following symptoms causes the most injury to a person suffering from dengue fever? Or we will have to go with internal hemorrhaging. Think of it as internal bleeding. That's really bad for a person. We are going to 53. Which of the following is the correct sequence when testing water for bacteria? Examine the agar in the petri dish for the presence of coliform colonies. That should be the end. That should be the end. So if we are already doing that for this question, incubate the petri dish at 35 degrees Celsius for 24 hours. Place collected water in a sterile bottle. Pour the water onto sterile agar in a sterile petri dish. Yeah. So 1 is the end. 2 is the second to last step because you're doing incubation. So we already seeing that lining up to be C for 53. So on to 54. Antiretroviral drugs are used to, can we cure HIV/AIDS? Not presently, but control the reproduction of HIV. So 54 is D. Question 55. Compaction is done at landfills in order to get rid of spaces that may harbor pests. Question 56. What is the effect of carbon monoxide on the human body? It prevents oxygen uptake by blood, damages cilia present in the trachea, causes eye irritation and reduces visibility, has toxic effects on the nervous system. A and D is always the answers to contemplate between, and we are going to prevents oxygen uptake by blood. Which of the following gases is produced in a landfill site? Ozone, steam, oxygen, and methane. And we will go with D for question 57. For 58, the process of adding a calculated amount of chemical that is effective for killing bacteria in a water treatment plant before water is distributed to customers is called chlorination. So 58 is C. 59 refers to the following diagram of water cycle. Which of the following labels indicate the process of evaporation? Evaporation is from liquid to gaseous state, which is showing the Roman numeral 3, which is C. And question 60, contamination of water sources is detrimental to humans because of the spread of waterborne diseases such as cholera. And that's the end of our paper.